Welcome to another In Wheel Time podcast, a 30-minute mini version of the In Wheel Time car show that airs live every Saturday morning, 8 to 11 a.m. Central. Celebrating 10 years of award-winning car talk, it's the In Wheel Time car show. Conrad has the car clinic coming up this half hour. We also have this week's auto news, and a very special guest is standing by. Howdy, along with Mike out of this world, Mars. King Conrad DeLong. We need more Jeff Zekin.
We do.
I'm Don Armstrong. Glad that you could join us on this Saturday. Thanks so much. It's the Saturday before Thanksgiving, y'all. Have you got your turkey picked out? Have you got it unthawing in the fridge?
I am the turkey.
You are a turkey.
I am the turkey. And where did the time go? It's already Thanksgiving.
It is Thanksgiving.
Holy smokes.
Time's flying when you have fun.
I guess. So, I came across a story that was written on the Detroit Free Press.
Uh-oh.
Costs of gasoline versus electric. And a fellow that puts together... What's so funny?
I think this will be an enlightening interview. I think so, too. Been looking forward to it.
So this gentleman, his name is Patrick Anderson, and he is the CEO of an East Lansing-based economic consulting firm called Anderson Economic Group. And so he bought himself an EV, electric vehicle. And the interesting thing, since he's in this business of putting numbers together, he's going, now wait just a minute. This is supposed to be economical? Well, we'll let him explain. Patrick, good morning to you, and thanks so much for joining us today.
Good morning. What a crew here. I see I've got some real auto experts there.
Well, and some...
where?
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm here for the free beer.
Actually, I worked for Oldsmobile Division for 25 years, so I've been...
All right, well, good for you. And our office is not too far from...
Building 70?
From where Ransomy Olds basically revolutionized the entire industry. And it was Ransomy Olds, as you know, that actually... brought the assembly line to the auto industry, and Henry Ford improved on that. So yeah, it was great history, and of course the Rocket V8. Probably you worked on the Rocket V8.
Oh yeah, go Spartans! East Lansing, you got to be a Michigan
Spartans
State
playing
fan.
Ohio State today,
undefeated,
and University of Michigan's playing too. So we got quite the crew of people that are supporters of Big Ten teams.
So, Patrick, let me ask you. So you went out and bought an EV, and did you go out and buy it because you like cars and you wanted the acceleration of an electric vehicle and really thought, okay, well let's see how it goes? Is that basically it? I mean, you didn't purchase the car to do a test on it and figure out what the cost was between electric versus gasoline, did you?
I bought it because, first of all, I'm a car enthusiast, so I like cars. We work in the auto industry, and I saw back in 2018 that this technology change was going to be really important. I also had a sense that perhaps there was some PR fluff here that wasn't going to be completely fulfilled.
No.
But I wanted to know for sure, so I actually ordered an EV back in 2018. It didn't show up to the middle of 2020. And of course, there weren't many choices at the time. So I purchased a Porsche Taycan S.
Nice.
That's a very expensive car. My choices were very limited at the time. I wanted an electric vehicle that had a real dealer network and was full size. So basically that narrowed it down to almost just that car. And so I bought it, and I've been driving it, and in many ways enjoying it. And also, just as you said, we've been toting up the costs and doing it the way we as economists should, meaning we're not fooling ourselves about bundled pricing or subsidies. We're saying, how much does it actually cost for someone to fuel a traditional internal combustion engine car, including all the costs? So the cost of the fuel, the registration taxes, if there's any, the gas taxes, the pump, and also the cost of fueling electric vehicle, which also has to include the cost of the taxes that are related to it, the cost of the pump if you have to pay for it, the fueling, and the cost of electricity. And we even included things like deadhead miles, which everybody who drives a lot knows about, which is where you're driving just for the purpose of getting somewhere so you can keep driving. Truckers do that if they have to take an empty load. And if you're an electric vehicle driver, a lot of times you have to incur some significant deadhead miles to get to a charger. Well, gas drivers have to too. So we did it apples to apples. So if you look at our report, now here's a copy of it. It's on the Anderson Economic Group website right now. You'll see that we've meticulously documented exactly the same costs for both ICE cars and for EVs.
And the result is I forgot the drum roll because this is the part that we're just going to get down and really talk about. And what is the price comparison between the cost of an internal combustion engine car and an electric car?
Well, what happens when you go through it? Of course, there's millions of use cases, so we can't get everything. But we had 3 use cases for ICE vehicles, 3 use cases for electric vehicles. So that's about 3 times as many as you normally get. We tried to get an entry priced, we tried to get a mid-priced vehicle, a luxury priced vehicle. And for the electric car, we varied how people charged. So we had some people that are mostly charging at commercial, they don't have a home charger, and also people mostly charging at home, a variation. It turns out if you add in all the costs, in many cases, the EVs cost more than the ICE vehicles to fuel. And we have, I'm looking at table 2 in our report, we have for entry through luxury internal combustion engine cars to drive 100 miles between, say, $8.50 and $13. And that's the cost of the fuel. That's the cost of the pump, which for gas stations, they put the cost of the pump into the fuel. The retail sales taxes, the road taxes, that's again in the retail price of gas. And a certain amount of deadhead miles. So between $8.50 and $12.60. For EVs, the 3 cases we have, same thing, apples to apples, between $12.95 and $14.15 a mile. So for 100 miles. So this is not exhaustive. It's 3 times the choices that you normally see in a comparison like this, but it does show that in many cases it actually costs more to fuel an EV than it does for a traditional ICE vehicle.
Were you personally surprised by the results?
Let me say, after spending many hours waiting at chargers,
yes,
and going through the let me say the EV hassles, I guess by the time we did it, I'd already been driving this car for over a year. I was no longer surprised that the results were like that. I mean, I'm an economist, of course, I'm trained to do this, but it was fairly easy for me and others to look at this and go, the retail price of gas includes the pump. It includes the road taxes. I have to count that, right? If I do the EV, I can't consider the cost of the charger and everything else is free. I'm holding up my fingers in quotes here, free.
Yeah.
If you have to pay for it, it's not free. If the taxpayers have to pay for it, it's not free. Even if it's bundled in the price of something else, it's not free. And so we knew that earlier on that there would be dollar amounts that needed to be included that a lot of people would be hidden from them. But I would say I was a little surprised about the fact that a whole variation of use cases ends up with EV cars costing a bit more.
The one thing that I noticed that you kind of left out of that was the time spent waiting for the charge. And I guess it depends on what your hourly rate would be if you were working at your job and you had to stop along the way and you were taking that time away from your job. The clock is still running for you personally. And how do you compensate for that? Where I spend maybe 5 minutes getting 30 gallons worth of gasoline at the corner store, as opposed to driving up here to Whole Foods for a fast charger, which is kind of a no. How do you justify 40 minutes to get an 80% charge up at Whole Foods, where I can't afford to buy food at Whole Foods because it's so expensive.
Yeah.
So you follow what I'm saying? How do you justify, how do you put in that figure, your own personal time waiting for the charge?
Well, I'm glad you were looking at our report, and I'm just going to ask you to get all the way to page 13. Page 13, we got that exact table there for you.
There you have it.
There you
All
go.
right, and it's interesting. You said 5 minutes. This is the difference between putting economists on this and putting, let me say, ordinary people. We pulled out a stopwatch, and we did a stopwatch on how long it took us to charge. And I mean, we did it scientifically. This included getting out of the car, getting your credit card reader to work and everything. And we were doing it typically 2.5 to 5 minutes. So that's right. The highest amount that we recorded was 13 minutes on a Friday afternoon when we had to drive across a highway to wait in line. Okay, and to drive there and back, 13 minutes. That was the max for a gas car. And exactly as you pointed out, it's often 30 minutes, 40 minutes, plus the deadhead miles to get to a fast charger. And we added that in. So our cost comparison is for typical hours on fueling per month, 1 or less hour for all of our internal combustion engine cars, 1 or less. So, I mean, some people half an hour, 20 minutes. Some people 15 minutes, but we put an hour. For EVs, depending on charging modality, 4.5, 5.75, 7 hours a month. And that's not counting when you plug it in at your house and leave it overnight. So the thing that was surprising to me in the study was this. If I'd have known that, I must say I would have had trouble buying the car.
Wow. I've got
I could anticipate this is how much it was going to cost. And I could estimate, the fueling, but I underestimated the time burden.
Patrick, I've got a question, and being the economist that you are, we're hearing things from our public officials in Washington and throughout the country that we're all supposed to be EV by, I believe, 2050, I think is the number. And
now, recently it's 2030 was what President Biden's plan is, 2030. We're supposed to be selling half the sales EVs by 2030.
Right. The question is, do you think we're going to get there by you crunching the numbers, and is it going to work?
Well, one of the reasons we're doing this, and you are exactly on something. I'm a firm believer that you get to choose what kind of car you drive. Okay. Nothing in here says, oh, you got to drive an EV or you got to drive an ICE car. There's nothing in here that says anybody that's driving an EV is saving the world and anybody else that's, that's taking, pulling a trailer over to cut the lawn of the person that's driving the vehicle that really just said they were saving the world is not. People get to choose for themselves. And I want people to have that. And that's part of what our company does is if you look at the Anderson Economic Group portfolio, we've been around for over 20 years. I got my 20th anniversary Anderson Economic Group shirt on.
Nice.
We advise companies, businesses, trade associations, and states based on what consumers actually spend, what they actually want to do, where businesses want to be. And we try to make them, put them in a position to make a good investment decision or a good decision. And we definitely are thinking that these are the factors that ordinary citizens will take into account when they decide whether to purchase a car or not. Heretofore, we have early adapters for EVs, including me. Okay. In 2018, I put down a deposit in a car that I don't see until 2020. It costs a lot of money, and it has to get fueled at a place that I've never seen, using equipment that is not proven. And with considerable risks. Okay, I did it. I'm glad I did it, but that's not an ordinary American situation. And I don't want to impose that on ordinary Americans. And at this point now we've got some more experience, and I think people looking at numbers like this and the kind of work that we're doing at Anderson Economic Group, which I hope others will do similarly, will give people a real chance to make a decision. And I think you're anticipating that that many Americans are going to have pause at that time burden and the cost burden.
Mm-hmm. Do you still own your electric vehicle?
Oh, yeah. I mean, this car, I've been telling you about the cost, but let me tell you, this is a fabulous driving vehicle. And I like cars. So, the car that I had before was, let me say, a V8 32 valve overhead cam engine with a beautiful dual exhaust all-wheel drive with 400 horsepower rated conservatively. So you probably figure out which vehicles fit in that category. And I love the sound and I love the acceleration. And I did not want to buy a car that wasn't going to give me at least that amount of acceleration. I'm not going to say that that's a moral need. I'm just going to say I like it. So I was willing to pay for it.
A moral need. I'm going to quote you on that, if that's okay. A moral need.
It's not a moral need, but it was. And once the vehicle is charged, then it's a fabulous vehicle to drive. And you get acceleration that's incredible, and a smoothness of the acceleration that you can't match in literally any gas car I've driven.
Are you still do you have a fast charger at your house?
No, literally, we are here now. We are here now, and I've had this vehicle since June of 2020. We're still trying to get an electrician to come in and put in the L2 charger. We just got quotes another round. That's part of what we have in our report is how much does it cost to install? We have about $600 for an L1 charger, which is either included in the cost of your car or you have to buy it. Either way, it's not free. It's not free.
Right.
About $600, you plug it in, and it's not hours. It could be days before your car's.
Right.
You don't see the look on Don's face.
Yeah, because you're trying to recharge with 110.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So
there's a picture in that story. There's actually in the USA Today story too. Again, it's look at stories by Jamie LaRue at the Free Press. Excellent story. And she was asking about this, and she said, do you have any pictures? I pulled out a picture of my charger showing 90 hours, 90 hours.
Yes.
Right? And now, we've had some online critics who are claiming that it always takes 90 hours. No, we're not. But you know what? Guess what? If you roll in and you're low and you just plug it into your standard charger, don't come back tomorrow. Don't come back the day
I've got it figured out.
I had one that had the packet that came from the OEM literally said if you're going to use the 110 I believe it was like 2 watts an hour or something. Anyway, it was very simple to figure out real quick that you were going to spend 48 hours if you only had a 10% charge.
Well, here's the
that
thing.
wouldn't get you the full.
It's 0.8 kilowatts, not one.
I think the 2030 number is when the time when your car is going to be fully charged in 2030, Patrick. That's what it's going to be. That's the number.
Right. And some of the other things you guys would be interested in is if you look at the owner's manual. And again, I actually read the owner's manual, so this is getting an idea what kind of car guy I am. I actually read the owner's manual. The owner's manual will tell you that you probably shouldn't charge it all the way up. And you'll realize that the circuitry will slow down the charging if you get above 80 or 90%.
Yes.
That's one of the reasons why you see the manufacturer's quote charging time to get from 20 to 80. A very peculiar thing. Just think about this. You ever go to a restaurant and they say, we're going to charge you $20 to get from after appetizer to almost all the way through your entree.
And then we're going to feed you dessert, but it's going to take 6 hours to eat dessert.
Right. So that's one of the reasons. And again, this report's out there. Again, you can tell if you go to the Anderson Economic Group .com website, you can get the whole report, 36 pages. Plus, there's a 2-page FAQ on there where we respond to some of the comments, questions, and in some cases, some of the criticisms we've gotten.
Patrick, I have to ask
I've linked your website on our social media.
So I have to ask you, How long does a charge last when you're not flooring it, when you don't have the electric heated seats or the air conditioning on a regular day? How long does the charge last? How many miles? About?
The vehicle I have has a 90 kilowatt hour battery. So that's a very big battery. All right.
But it's a very fast car.
The vehicle I bought, I'm an early adopter. There were not many choices. I spent a lot of money for this vehicle, much more than is reasonable for a typical family. And I was essentially forced to buy very expensive options on top of that. And one of them was a 90 kilowatt hour battery. Even with that battery, you still have what I find is a useful range of 200 miles or less. And that's useful if you've been charging it. And if, of course, if basically, as we just discussed, typically you don't have a 100% charge. If you've been charging it, that means you've got about an 80% charge.
Right.
And so that may mean that you can drive comfortably 60 or 70 miles one way and back. If it's the winter time, this is again something that has not been discussed, but real world tests in the wintertime show significant loss in range.
Because of battery performance in cold weather.
Yeah. I've already experienced oh my gosh, I'm going to run out of charge, and it's nighttime in the winter once. And it's not a good feeling. I ended up getting off a highway exit someplace and searching around and finding, thankfully, a Chevy dealer that had a charger on the back side just so I could get home. And it was a cold day, and it was 11 o'clock at night. That's not what I want most families to go through.
Well, Patrick, it's been a pleasure to talk to you, and we hope that we can hook up with you again soon to get an update from you. I know that you have a very full schedule, and we've been working on getting you on for weeks, and hopefully you've got an outlet here in Houston, Texas, that if you want to talk to a bunch of folks, this is it. This is your lifeline to the world here at Wheel Time.
He's got an outlet to plug in.
Well,
in real time, and good luck in Texas. I was actually born in Texas, so I see you got a bunch of Texas license plates up there, so good for you.
Yeah.
And it's been enjoyable talking with you gentlemen today.
Very informative. Thank you very much.
Take care of yourself. Okay, that's about Patrick Anderson, CEO of Anderson Economic Group. And speaking of which, Rivian Automotive. Now, this is a company that has raised billions of dollars to do the whole electric thing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Trucks.
Electric vans for e-commerce retailer Amazon. Well, guess what?
Did they say 100,000 of them?
100,000. It just comes out today that it may have a more limited range than what was previously disclosed.
No.
The information reported yesterday, citing a driver testing of the vehicle. Driver told The Information, which is an outlet, that the battery drained about 40% faster than normal if the van's heating or cooling was on.
Strange.
Amazon,
exactly what Patrick was
which
talking
disclosed a 20% stake in Rivian at the end of October in 2019, ordered 100,000 of its electric delivery vans as part of the e-commerce giant's effort to cut its carbon footprint, except it won't go anywhere.
Well, but they won't have heaters or air conditioners in them because it uses more electricity.
And Ford expects to become the nation's second biggest EV producer in 2 years, and it no longer thinks it needs Rivian's help to do that.
Uh-oh.
The two companies have scrapped plans, kind of timely, I thought, to jointly develop an EV, according to Ford CEO Jim Farley. Ford already had canceled the planned Lincoln collaboration at the start of the coronavirus pandemic, but still intended to work with Rivian on a different vehicle until recently. Jim Farley says, right now we have growing confidence in our ability to win in the electric space. When you compare today with when we originally made that investment, so much has changed about our ability, about the brand's direction in both cases, and now it's more certain to us that we are going to do what we got to do. We want to invest in Rivian. We love the future as a company, but at this point, we're going to develop our own vehicle. Nanny, nanny, boo, boo.
And the other thing Ford is doing on developing their own is they've joined with Global Foundries. On Thursday, they announced a collaboration to manufacture their own semiconductors here in the United States to avoid this chip shortage that's going on. Now, it's probably not going to be until the end of 22 or 23 before all that comes online. But Ford has announced building their own chips here in the States, and I know General Motors has as well.
Yeah, and I keep reading. And
Except General Motors joined with Frito-Lay.
What?
The Frito Bandito.
Yeah. Well, you were talking about scrapping the idea with the EV. What is the price of EV scrap nowadays?
No, I have no idea.
Back to you, Don.
There was something in that.
I don't know.
I'm sure it was good.
I know.
Let's do the car clinic after in the next hour.
Sure.
Okay, is that okay with you?
Absolutely.
Because we ran a little long with Patrick and.
It's okay.
Yeah, but that was a great interview.
was.
That was good information, and he was. And I put his article both in this segment of our Facebook as well as on our main Facebook page.
Thank you so much
It was
for
very
doing
good
that.
reading.
Yeah. Well, I thought it was an interesting story, and Mars has been working diligently to get him on because he's a very busy guy.
Yep.
And got to fit him in the schedule.
Thanks for joining us.
Thank you,
Patrick.
Mike.
Absolutely.
And
thank
Mars.
you, Mr. Mars.
Yeah, well, I just do what I can do.
That's right.
And wait till you get to this.
Oh, Lord. I can't
Wait till you
wait.
get to-
All right. Well, that's it for this hour of the In Wheel Time Car Show.
Awesome.
Hour number 3 starts after a quick break.
Hey, Houston, it's back! America's greatest hot rod tradition is on Thanksgiving weekend. The O'Reilly Auto Parts Autorama at the George R. Brown Convention Center. 4 days of hot rods, customs, classics, trucks, and performance cars featuring the ultimate lowrider showcase. Sponsored by Shorty's Hydraulics and the traditional Rod Garage. Saturday only, it's the Tuner Galleria with 250 imports, JDM, and luxury cars, plus music and models. Autorama. It's so much more than a car show on the celebrity stage. Presented by Nick's Auto Repair and Classic Car Restoration. It's Chip Foose from TV's Overhauling on Friday and wrestling superstar Sting on Sunday. Shop the swap meet and women's world all weekend. The O'Reilly Auto Parts Autorama. November 25th to 28th at the George R. Brown Convention Center. Discount tickets at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Part of the Summer Racing Equipment Show Car Series. See Autorama.com.
Tailpipes and Tacos, Houston's premier monthly cruise-in, will return Saturday, December 18th to the Loopy Tortilla Tex-Mex in Katy. Tailpipes and Tacos wants to thank all of the participants and fans who've enjoyed the collector cars, hot rods, customs, originals, and resto mods, and everything in between. We'll be taking a break for Thanksgiving and Autorama, but we'll be back for a great Christmas cruise-in on December 18th, so make plans now. You know that Tailpipes and Tacos is the Houston area's coolest cruise-in, a place you'll see friends, family, and the finest cruise-in cars in the Houston area. It all happens at the Loopy Tortilla Tex-Mex in Katy on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard, just south of I-10. Get your ride ready for a very special Christmas cruise-in, Loopy style. It's Tailpipes and Tacos, Saturday, December 18th. The In Wheel Time Car Talk Show will be there too. Let's celebrate the Christmas season together at the next Tailpipes and Tacos on December 18th. We'll see you then, weather permitting. Gulf Coast Auto Shield has moved to a more convenient location. Now you can visit John Gray and his staff of dedicated professionals at their new shop on the South Sam Houston Parkway between Belford and Airport in Southwest Houston. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is the best at paint correction and ceramic coatings. Clear bras and custom wraps are specialties that only Gulf Coast Auto Shield installs with award-winning accuracy, and all their services come with a warranty. Lamborghini, Aston Martin, Porsche, and Ferrari owners depend on Gulf Coast Auto Shield for their specialty services, and you should too. The In-Wheel Time Corvette and Cutlass have both been massaged by Gulf Coast Auto Shield, so isn't it time your vehicle visit their new shop in Southwest Houston? Call John Gray today at 832-930-5655 or visit online at gcautoshield.com. That's gcautoshield.com. Paint, coatings, wraps, and more at gcautoshield.com. That's it for this podcast episode of the In Wheel Time Car Show. I'm Don Armstrong, inviting you to join us for our live show every Saturday morning, 8 to 11 a.m. Central on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and our InWheelTime.com website. Podcasts are available on Apple Podcast, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeart Podcast, Podcast Addict, TuneIn, Pandora, and Amazon Music. Keep listening, and we'll see you soon.